guess. And so I probably need to speak into the microphone. Hi, everybody. So this is Man Alone, and this is the first time I have attempted a live broadcast, and I am not narcissistic enough to believe that anyone is going to join me for the entire time here on a Friday night at 10 p.m. I am so looking forward to playing this game, and I really wanted to play it live. Once again, something that is really important to me in doing this channel is just showing people the way in which solo role-playing does not take tons of preparation. It doesn't take you don't have to be the most creative person. You don't have to be the most clever person. In fact, all that you have to do is enjoy yourself. And that's one of the great benefits of solo role-playing, is that there's no pressure. It's just you. Unless, of course, you're doing a live stream. In which case, your mileage may vary. But I don't feel pressured right now because no matter what, when you're doing solo role-playing, every choice you make is the right choice. And having that trust in yourself is what's going to allow you to have a sense of discovery as you play. Because if you have to keep editing the game to get it just right, well, in that case, you're better served by just like writing something, right? Not even playing a game. And I think that when you have trust in yourself and you have trust in the choices that you make, you'll be very delighted by some of the incredible ideas that will come your way. So I'm just going to play, and I think I'm not even going to look. I've X'd out the box of people who are here. So if you actually want to communicate, you can put a chat in. But I just want to play through this game as if I was playing through it by myself. Not really. I mean, I'll be talking to you the whole time, but I just want to show you like the process that I go through as I'm playing a solo game. And hopefully a few people might stop by. If not, I'm going to record this and post it. And so, yeah, let's get right to it. So we're going to play the Broken Cask by Derek A Kamal, and also illustrated by Claudia Cangini. I think that's right. This is a solitaire innkeeping game. And so I'm very excited about playing this for a couple reasons. Actually, 3 reasons. Number 1 is it's just a cool idea. To me, I really like any time that we can play something that is not necessarily like a dungeon delve. And I think, don't get me wrong, that's the bread and butter of role-playing. And I'll always like playing dungeon, sword and sorcery kind of games. But it's really cool when somebody puts a different twist on things. And this one looks really interesting. It is an innkeeping game. There are stats, there are different resources that you will use, but the focus that Derek has really created with this game is on the immersiveness, the environment, just creating that realistic feel, or I guess realistic might not be the word, but like a high level of verisimilitude in terms of whenever you go to an inn in any sort of tabletop role-playing game, and that's fantasy or sci-fi or whatever it is, the inn or the pub or the space bar or whatever it is going to be this place where tons of different stories come together. Conflicts can happen, friendships can happen, deals can be struck, betrayals can happen, Greedo can shoot first, all these different things. And so this one puts us in the perspective of the innkeeper, which I think is just a very interesting place to put the camera. And you're kind of this person that has been a part of this scene and You have this bird's eye view on everything, and of course you are your own person, but your whole thing is designed around creating this beautiful experience for other people. So yeah, I wanted to try this out. That said, it's not a super intensive resource management game. Um, there there is some things like gold and stuff like that, but it's not a game that has a high level of like accounting for stats and stuff like that. Again, it should be a relaxing game. Number two of why I was excited to play this game is because I know I shared before that the main game that I've been working on for myself is called This Is Your Queen, and it's sort of a playing card deck dungeon delve low fantasy game that has been. I don't know if it's going to be my first published game that will be like the one that I try to disassociate myself from over time, or if it'll be like my magnum opus. But I've certainly worked on it enough for it to be either. That's the main game that I've been developing, but I actually have a side project that I think might actually be finished. I might finish this one first, and it's called They Will Destroy Us, and that is a post-apocalyptic survival horror game that is a resource management tabletop RPG, and kind of a bit mysterious, maybe a bit eldritch. You're running a settlement, and every once in a while, a horde descends upon your settlement to attack, and so you kind of spend the time between those attacks preparing your settlement. And I am just so thankful that I read The Broken Cask at the point that I did, which is like last week, because there are so many good ideas in this, and there are so many things that run parallel to the things that I'm thinking. To be honest, so many things that just do it so much better than what I've done in my game. And there were so many moments that I was like, oh, this is such a great idea of handling this thing that there are certain things in my game that I wrote pages and pages of instructions on, and Derek kind of captures it in like one page or one paragraph. And I'm going, yes, that's such a better way of explaining this. So in that way, it's really been an amazing inspiration. But I'm glad also that I read it when I did, because I think if I had read this before I started making my game, either I would have felt completely discouraged and been like, okay, well, here's some version of something similar to my game that is just so much better. I'm not going to be able to compete with this. Or I would have been completely worried that I was going to like subconsciously take things from here. And I should say, from my experience, the tabletop role-playing community is extremely generous in terms of supporting creators, and so many people's games are inspired by other games, and there are certain words in games that are just going to be in every game. It's hard to find a role-playing game that doesn't have the word quest in it or combat or something like that. But if you are a game creator, I think it's just a good note to say, like, you can be influenced by mechanics. You can be influenced by different ideas. The only thing you can't take from another creator, unless I guess they explicitly say so, is their exact words. You just can't lift like their words or paragraphs from the page. So again, I'm so glad that I encountered this book when I did, because otherwise I think it would have been very disruptive. And I also think it would have been sad if I had read it earlier and it discouraged me, because that happened a lot when I first started writing my own game. And I didn't mean to go down this path to talk too much to like new RPG designers, because I'm still that. The only thing I have is I've been working on it for some time now. But I will say that very early on when I started, I would go and look for different role-playing games to sort of inspire me, or to get some insight on how they handled mechanics or whatever. And a lot of times I would read those and I would get so discouraged, because I would say, oh, I'm just never going to be able to create something like this. And over time, I realized that that's like a really good thing. I don't want to create something that already exists. And I think the most important feeling we can have towards a game, that I have towards this Broken Cask, is just appreciation, a sense of warmth that comes from being part of a community that puts so much excellent stuff into the world. And to know that this is all about sharing. And even as you read through this, you get a real sense of fellowship and how important that is in this game. Um, and the warmth of Derek, the creator, and the illustrations of Claudia are just, they emanate warmth, you know. And so I was kind of reading between the lines to see that, that sense of fellowship. And I'll come back to that word. But in fact, about a week ago, I had an awesome experience where I was trying to do my review of this some time ago, but I got sick. Nothing serious, just kind of got the flu. And my delivery of this kept getting pushed back, and it wasn't Shoreless Skies, that's the publisher. It really wasn't anyone's fault. It was kind of like just like a package handling issue, and it just kept getting pushed back a day. And I had made an announcement that I was going to do a playthrough of this game, and then because it was going to get delivered, and it didn't get delivered. So in a tizzy, I just did a shot in the dark and reached out to Derek, the creator of this, and I said, hey, I don't know if this is possible, but I just want you to know, like, I was going to do a playthrough of this game, and I'm just wondering if it's possible you could provide me with like a temporary access to a PDF copy. And I promise that I'll delete it after I'm done, because you want to really support creators and their intellectual property. But I said it would just kind of be a stand-in until this book comes. I promise the book's going to come, and if that's cool, cool. If not, don't worry about it. And I kind of just forgot about it. And not only did Derek get back to me and send me this PDF for this, he sent me just a long, really kind, really awesome message that also indicated that he had looked at my channel and like watched some of my videos. What other area of entertainment and culture are you going to get that from? You think, I don't know, I'm sure it's possible, but like, I can't imagine reaching out to a movie director and then them saying, oh yeah, hey, cool, I like your review of my movie. And that's such a wonderful thing about role-playing games, and even solo role-playing games are still so much about companionship and fellowship. And so it's not a stat in this game, but I just want to say to Derek, thank you. I did delete it. Don't worry, there's no bootlegs of this in existence anymore. I got the book, I got the real thing. If anyone goes on shorelessskies.com, I think it's that. I'll make sure I put the link down in the description after this live stream's done. But there's like printable or fillable character logs there, and there's different oracles you can print out. You can get the book there. But I wanted to honor this sense of fellowship that I did feel just in that whole experience. And so in They Will Destroy Us, my resource management survival game, I did change one of the stats. One of the settlement stats was unity, and I changed it to fellowship. And it's just the stat of how the settlers, the members of your settlement, are getting along and working together and supporting each other. So I just want to say thank you, Derek, and because it just represented so much of how great this community is, and I hope at some point you get a chance to see this. So now I'll do the rating. This is 0 stars out of 5. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so this is sorry. This is a wonderful book, the way that it's set up. Just to give like a brief overview of how this sets up, because I wanted to get into gameplay. Does a really great job of walking you through it, gives a prologue and an introduction to really establish the flavor of this game, letting players know right up front, there's some stats, there's some mechanics, but this is mostly about just like enjoying yourself, relaxing. And yeah, it's a Friday night right now. This is the kind of game after a tough week that I would want to just sit and play through and not have that feeling that that like there is some sort of uh, pressure or clock or anything like that that I have to beat or anything like that. So um, I'm enjoying the fact that I could just sort of play through this, and also he very much emphasizes like if any of the rules don't work for you, if any of the um, guidance he says to take the rules as kind of like guidelines, right? And if any of it doesn't work for you, you just change it up or whatever. So that's what I like. I like to be able to adjust um, any of the mechanics or anything like that uh, as I am inspired to do so, and so that's what I'll do. But yeah, so it does a good job of introducing it. Provides a terminology glossary here right up front that I thought that was a curious choice at first, just having the glossary up front, because there's just no way that I would be able to remember this as I played through. But it actually did work, because what I did is I scanned through it to see any of the mechanics that um, I did not that I was not familiar with before, or that were a little bit different. For instance, there's a flip mechanic here where it says take the die after any roll and turn it to the exact opposite side using that result. So like if you roll a 1, then you would like flip it and use a 6. All right, or like a 2, you would flip it and use a 5, and so that's kind of like a change your fate sort of thing. And then there's also a term here that is forward, and forward just means like on the next roll or like on the next task or anything like that. You will apply whatever effect that is. All right. Yeah, so let's get into it. So most of this is a 1 or 2 d6, and I think that, let's see here. Some of the oracles you might need like a little bit more than that, and I think calculating gold you might need a little bit more than that, but for the most part it's gonna be 1 or 2 d6. All right, so my printer is terrible, and so these look very strange. That's okay. It has some sort of problems like printing out the margins here, stuff like that, but I think this will mostly get the job done. So there are 3 different sheets, which can look pretty overwhelming, but they're pretty simple. So this one tracks like the people. So this is the innkeeper log. So we'll create an innkeeper. We'll create 2 staff members. You could have up to 4. There's regular patrons, and then there's like heroes that you could send out on quests, and that's kind of like a little bit of a mini game. You have storage, where you could have different pieces of inventory that you get. And yeah, so you can give the characterization as much or as little characterization as you want to any like your staff or the patrons or anything like that. This is the session log, and this is kind of a compact journal just to keep track of each session, which is really, it could be like, think of it as when you run out of moves, you can't do anything else, you would end a session. You could like immediately start a new one, erase all the conditions and everything, but it's kind of like saying when you end a session, it's like closing the shop for the night. All right, so we'll just actually put the date here, which is 10/6/23, just so we remember we started it then. And I know that I originally had said that I was going to do Broken Cask as like sort of an ASMR sleepy time role play, where I speak softly and my voice is hypnotic. But maybe what we can do is we'll get a little bit of a start here, and if we like the inn that we set up and the characters that we create and everything like that, then we can continue that in the next video that I record. Okay. So let's right off the bat, on every session, you're going to roll for the weather. Let's do that really quick. And it's hailing outside. Interesting. Okay. And then the season, 1d6. Winter solstice. All right. Winter solstice, the cusp of winter when the world gets a little quieter. Sounds good. And a story thread. And so a story thread is a 2d6 roll, and the story thread is some context. You can use it to inform the narrative that you create. You could not use it. It doesn't have to come up right away, but it's input, right? And so when you're solo role playing, that's important to have any sort of stuff that you can put into the cognition machine and provide some thoughts or ideas or creative outcomes from that. So let's see what it says here for the story thread. That's a 3. A strange discovery was found in a nearby mine. So we'll just take a note of that. A strange discovery in a nearby mine. We don't know what that is yet. We can think about that. It could be an intergalactic apocalyptic weapon, or it could be a huge barrel of pesto sauce. We don't know yet. We don't know the tone of what we're playing yet, okay? So we'll figure that out. And I think we'll start with the inn name. Now, the way that they usually have you do it is the inn is kind of one of those ampersand restaurant names that they have now. If you live in a major city in the U.S., almost every restaurant is named. It's like agonizing that they'll all be like the Quill and Apple, or like the Snow and Salamander. But that, I guess, that has historical grounding to it. So we'll see what we get here, and see if we want to take what it's 2 D66 rolls. So let's see what we come up with. So we have 65. Banner. 35. Banner Mountain. I like it. Banner Mountain. Sounds like it could sell barbecue. Sounds like it could sell outdoor wear. Who knows? The location for this guy is in the middle of nowhere. Okay. The appearance of it. 9. Olive stained birch panels, cushioned furniture, and paintings. Okay, so kind of like outdoorsy. Cushioned furniture. Okay. This is kind of a comfortable place. All right. And then we'll go with the inn type. 2d6. 3. It is a gambling den. All right. So definitely going to not be any lowlifes here that are going to get in bar fights where they smash a bottle over a table and threaten each other. Okay. Oops. Okay, we got a little mess there. All right. Okay. And then let's see, what's the guest type? I guess 2d6 again. 8. Merchants and traders. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Signature drink. Okay, these are very interesting ones. 8. Wild honey mead steeped in overripe cherries. I would say the cherries are one of the few things, I guess, in a beverage that I would be like, yeah, I don't mind if those are overripe. Anything else, I don't think that would sound appetizing. If someone said, Would you like a plate of overripe asparagus? I just wrote that, overripe asparagus. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, and a signature meal. Well, let's see what kind of entertainment or distractions they are here. Yeah, I see that in the chat. There's someone writing about the 2020 election. So this tracks for a live video on YouTube. It's definitely the place you want to discuss your theories. All right, so a 7 is, well, I guess it was just a 1d6. 3. Dance. Folks come from far and wide to scoot their boots. That's very interesting. So it is a gambling den and also a dance hall. Dance. Folks come from far and wide. To scoot their boots. Okay. Unique services. 3. Theme dinners for all occasions. Wow. This sounds like the place that the guy from Bar Rescue, if you ever watched that show, would be like, this is a mess. What are you going for here? You're a casino that does themed dinners, and you have a dance floor. So you'd probably yell at a lot of people, but then people, friends would become enemies, enemies would become friends, and eventually I think the bar would emerge better off for it. So themed dinners for every occasion. Signature meal. This should be good. 5. Pork shank and fruit whey bread. It seems like every single one of these is like almost real, and then whey bread. I don't know what fruit whey bread is. It's spelled W-A-Y, but I like that. I like how that sounds. Okay. Anomalies. 1d6. 2. Bottomless pit in the cellar. Okay. I love that. Like the kind you just like throw a coin down and can't ever hear it land. And pets. I guess you got to have pets and strays. 2. Your or one of your staff keep a pet dog about who seems to believe it runs the place. I love that. So pet dog. And I love dogs with human names, so we'll call that pet dog Frank. Okay. So that kind of covers the inn to start here. Banner Mountain in the middle of nowhere. Nice, comfortable furniture. Gambling den that has merchants and traders. Sells some wild honeymead steeped in overripe cherries. Pork shank with fruit whey bread. Has a dance floor where folks come from far and wide to scoot their boots. A Western themed, maybe. Themed dinners for every occasion. A bottomless pit in the cellar. And a pet dog Frank who thinks that he runs the place. All right. So now we need to know about who we are. All right. And so we'll name the main character first at D66, so 45. Ella. 46. Wolftooth. Ella Wolftooth. I am Ella Wolftooth. Ella Wolftooth. Hello, I am Ella Wolftooth, and my background is 2d6. 7. I'm a former farmhand looking for a more interesting life. But interestingly, it says looking for, a more, it's kind of like printed Amore is one word. So it's like amore. So I think, um, oh, sorry. I'm on I've never done it from off YouTube before, so I'm having a hard time seeing the chat, but I do see the bottom one. Uh yeah, he's looking for love. Yeah, so how can you send out on quests? Yeah, so it's I think it's to be honest, I think it's a part of the game that could be developed a little bit more. Um and that said, I think it's open-ended enough that it could be pretty easily developed by like the player. But essentially, what you do is you have like these regulars in your inn. I don't know why I'm doing this. You're not gonna be able to see it. I'll just explain it. But you have these regulars in your inn, and they could be like used as heroes. You can also hire mercenaries, and these heroes only have one stat, and their stat is just combined as L. It's like their level, and so you use that as the modifier. So like these, it's more important to like consider the narrative of them or whatever it is, and then you can send them out on different quests that you would like roll a table for based on a region, and the region is 1d6 plus L. So I guess like the higher the number here, the more difficult that the quest is going to be. And then you would just kind of roll on the quest. So say the first one's called Rubber Tree Meadow, and let's just do an example roll here. Oh, sorry, I only roll 1 for that. So 4. So it's a kobold hunter. A task is level 2. Before you fight, roll 1d6. On a 1 to 2, the hunter gets the drop on you, and the task is now level 3. So basically, what that means is that I would just roll and that combat would be a single roll for me. And so, unless I'm missing something, I think it would be a single roll. And then if I was successful, I would get like a certain, perk from that, or I would be able to, I think, I would roll on a loot table to resolve the quest. And then I would bring it back to the inn, and I would get whatever that is. And if it failed, I would maybe lose morale or whatever. It might have some effects, and the heroes can also have effects on them, like poison, sick, and sorcelled, which then you would need to maybe resolve. But honestly, to me, I think it could be built out a little bit more. And you could have it so that like you role play it with a variety of tasks rather than the only task being that combat. You could use you can use that task thing. So if you like had to roll an L3 with a 1d6, like this right here, instead of that being me winning, that could be like me like landing a hit or something. But there's no like HP. When does it? Yeah, so I don't think so. I think it's possible. The question is it possible to lose? I don't think it's possible to lose. I think it is possible to have your session end prematurely. So this is, I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, the RPG that I'm creating, and that one has more of a resource management where you could technically like lose, but I don't think that's the focus of this one. I think the focus of this one is to just like enjoy the narrative ups and downs of it. So and then you can like lose prestige and become less popular and stuff like that. So if that's not your bag, like some people don't like that. I know that some people say, I don't want a game that I like just keep playing forever. And this is more of an atmospheric game. This is more of a game that is about the experience. It's about going through the mechanics, creating new narratives and stuff like that, which I really enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with Ella here. And we can get some more information on Ella. So, race is 2d12. 6, halfling. Ella Wolftooth halfling. I'm Ella Wolftooth. Okay. And clothing, 1d6, 6. Scale armor all the time. I love that. So Ella is a halfling, just ready, decked out in full plate armor all the time. And doesn't like to be messed with. I could respect that. I might start doing that in my daily life, just putting on full armor at all times. Just going to Walgreens with full plate armor on. Okay, race, we have that. Oops, I wrote race where background is, my bad. So the background gives us like some abilities, I think. So this is 2d6. Ella Wolftooth is escaped an eldritch cult. Dude, Ella goes hard. So this halfling Ella Wolftooth escaped an eldritch cult. Wears full plate armor all the time. And I was hoping that would come to some like awesome crescendo that like Ella could throw triple daggers or something. And it just says, my ability from that is you may roll on a cooking task instead of your staff. Very useful. So the stats that the innkeeper has are going to be higher than each staff member's tasks. And I think that I think I would. I wonder if is there a law against like readying yourself for medieval battle in public? Excuse me, sir. You cannot wear full plate armor in public. We don't know exactly what the law is on that, but we just both feel it in our guts that that's illegal. All right. So you may roll on a cooking task. Instead of staff. And that's probably maybe once a session. Okay. And then we'll see. Let's see if we have a quirk here. 2d6. 11. You have a deep, dark secret. Wow. I got to think about what that is. Oh, thanks, Jock. Welcome. Jock, I just found out that my innkeeper has a deep, dark secret. I think it's got it. Like, what would be if I ran a restaurant? What would a deep, dark secret be? For some reason, what's coming? I liked being in the cult. Yeah, we'll use that. I'll do that. My secret is that I never felt. I'm treading on thin ice here. I don't want to upset anyone that emerges from that, but we'll say that I grew up in that, and a lot of people called it a cult, but we were just a tight knit group, and I've never, even though we had to get out of it, I felt like I haven't felt that sense of community and family since then. And I'm slow to trust people. And maybe over time, this here inn can become my new cult. Yeah. Sometimes I miss the call. I bet that's true. I bet it's very complicated. I should just shut up. All right. So 1d6. We're just going to do the stats now. And 3 is a +2 for body. And then for heart, oh yeah, +3. Ella is so good. And then a 2, +1 for mind. And then gold, I think, is 4d6. All right, let's give it a shot. 12. Okay. Now we just have to make ourselves 2 staff members really quick. and then we can proceed and get started. So for the first one, we'll name the first staff member is 52, Ezra. And the second one, we'll just do first names. 25 is Bessarion. All right. And the roll, I'm going to tell you one. Let's see. Well, let's take the input here. Let's see what it says. I need I just feel like I need certain roles. I feel like I need a bartender and a host, but we'll see. Maybe I could roll that. 2, alchemist. All right, we'll put the alchemist at the bar. So that's Ezra is an alchemist, but it's like, yeah, Ezra, I know you're an alchemist. We really appreciate all the like straw that you've been trying to turn into gold. It's been, repeatedly you've been turning it into pewter, but right now we really need you to cover the bar. And with whatever their role is, they get it says their stats. So this is -1 body stat. And these are just the modifiers for any checks that we do. 0 for heart and +2 for mind. And then starting morale is 2. And then Bessarion is going to be a carpenter. Okay. I dig. I mean, look, we're just starting out. We need all the help that we can get. And so the other cool thing in this game is you can upgrade the rooms in your inn, and you can also add new rooms. Am I playing on easy? No, I think I'm playing on normal. I don't think there's a difficulty setting. I'm playing on easy only because I'm so good at solo role playing. I'm kidding. Yeah, but I don't think it works like that. Although it would be, I always try to think of this whenever I'm playing a solo game, I'm like, I wonder if I could do like an extreme mode in this game and what that would look like. And oh, very good. Sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. The chat box is about this big right now, and so I missed the difficulty. That's very good. If I could right now, I would give you a sticker. So the okay, so we have our 2 staff, and I guess we'll just roll just to see their appearance here. So 4. Okay, Ezra is a dwarf alchemist. And Bessarion, which is a very Warhammer 40k name, sounds like a blood angel. 6, another halfling. Oh, let's get some more diversity here. Let's do 2d6 to Dragonkin. I assume that's like a Dragonborn, maybe, in the most popular role-playing game in the world that everyone says when they don't want to incur any wrath. Okay, so both of them have 2 morale. All right. I think we're ready to start. And let's just see how we do. I'm at about 45 minutes in, so we'll play a little bit, and then I think actually I do like the setup I have here. I like Ella. Let me see if I can capture everyone here. So Ella, I'm thinking older woman, halfling, and she's yes, I'm Ella Wolftooth. Yes, I am the proprietor of Banner Mountain, and it's in the middle of nowhere, which I like because, in my opinion, I haven't met, since I was young, haven't met too many people that I want to be around for extended periods of time. The thing I like about running a bar and grill is that you can meet a person, you like them, you don't like them, and then at the end of the night you say goodbye. At worst, they pass out and you say goodbye in the morning. But now I have these 2 staff members here, Ezra and Bessarion. So Ezra's a dwarf alchemist, so Ezra's going to be like, I was very young when I found out about combining different chemicals. The first 2 chemicals that I combined were vinaigrette and a dish cleaner. And the effect was nothing. But ever since then, I've tried to do better with varying success. As you might imagine, the alchemist is not a high paying job, and so I'm probably going to have to work the bar. Okay? And then Bessarion is a carpenter dragonkin. So Bessarion says, "Hello, I'm Bessarion. A lot of people see me with my scales and red skin and pointy ears and something of a spade of a tail in the back of my body, and they assume that because of that I'll be positively feral. And I am. At times I am, I do admit it, but I'm a creator, a carpenter. I use these hands to create. I breathe life into all sorts of structures, whereas most people think I only breathe fire, which I do, but only a little bit. It's more like acid reflux." All right, so we have our 3 characters there. All right, so let's give it a try. This is going to be the main cycle of play, is that we roll on this table, and then we just refer to that and see what sort of situations come about. All right, and then we resolve that using that table, and we can also do some additional tasks here. These can be done anytime, and this is sort of like innkeeper's prerogative. And one of them is prate. And I hadn't heard that word before. I'm actually interested in looking it up. But prate, spelled like this, this actually is, as far as I understand it, prate is kind of to shoot the breeze or to chat. And I'm not sure where the origin of it is from, but it kind of looks like in Spanish you could say like platicar, which is to chat or to catch up. And then you also have like, parlay, or in Italian, parlare. And so, io parlo. Maybe that's related, but whatever it is, it just means to kind of chat. And what this is in this situation, and I really actually like this, the way it's explained. It's kind of like when you're at a restaurant and the owner comes out and is like, "How's everyone enjoying their food?" And they're like, "Oh, we have these clams. Have you tried the clams? They're the best clams in the city." And then the person orders the clams, and then they come out. And what this is it's kind of like a push your luck in terms of prestige, because say that you do recommend the clams, you then do a check on that, and if you succeed, then you would gain prestige, but if you lose, you would lose prestige. So that's an option as well, and all of these are just additional actions that you can do. But let's try the events table and run through a couple of these and see how it goes. All right, let's do a 2d12. 8. Gardening. I did not think that was going to be the first thing I did in this game, but let's do it. I gotta put this away. So I'm gonna start writing on the sheet and marker. All right, just give me a quick twist here. It can't be monsters every time. Sometimes there's monsters and sometimes there's gardening, much like life. All right, let's see here. Troublesome guests. Service, common guest tasks, gardening tasks. All right, so I guess it's just a 1d6. Let's see what we got. 2, add compost. It's hard work, but it's worthy work. All right. So looks like we're going to add some compost to the back garden. This task is an M3, which means I would roll a mind stat, but I have to pick a staff member to do this. So I'm going to pick Ezra, who's the alchemist, because I say, "Ezra, you're always in that garden taking it for medicinal herbs and stuff like Could you please add some compost?" And so Ezra's +2 mind. It's an M3. Whew. Skin of my teeth, 2. That +2 is 4. So that's a hit. And the sweet smell of dirt grants you +1 gardening forward. And whenever it says forward, that just means that the next time that we do anything with gardening, we'll get like a +1 on the roll. And so this is where we would do this temporary conditions, and this is also where has anyone ever had a printer in their life that did what you asked it? Is this not like, are printers not the most unreliable pieces of technology ever? What other technology is like just doesn't do what you say? Like, or you tell it to print and it goes, I'll think about it for a while. Anyways, right here we would do +1 gardening going forward. If I had failed that roll, it just said, is that a boot? -1 gardening forward. Now, when we start stuff like this, it's probably going to be pretty surface level, right? But the trap that we could fall into in solo play is only limiting ourselves to the mechanics and saying, okay, +1 gardening. Okay, what's next? Okay, now I'm going to clean. Okay, let's roll on that. We want to start creating a story here. All right. And maybe this gardening gets added into it. Maybe it doesn't. But whatever it is, Ezra's in the back and he's kind of muttering to himself, saying, "Why, I'm the one who always has to add compost. I know what that is. That was making me put poop here. And it's because he knows that it's the experiment 2 days ago that he was doing with his alchemy stuff. It ended up smelling a little poopy, and it bothered everyone. And so I sent him to do the compost. Go ahead, Ezra." So he's back there. That's okay. He hit the task. Morale. Let's go back here. Okay. So we will do a special. Let's do another event. 4. Brewing order. Here we go. Let's brew something up. Brewing tasks. 6. Special delivery. Some poor schmo or other has requested a delivery of your finest beverage. First, you will resolve this task to make sure you can brew your specialty. Then you will use the overland table to see how the delivery goes. The overland table is on page 70. Now, this is kind of interesting. Hey, hi, Black Goblin. I'm glad you're here. You're not late. I was supposed to roll 2d6 for the event. Was I? Oh, you're right. That's okay. We'll go with this now. I'll roll 2d6 next time. Thank you for reminding me. So this is kind of cool. This is we're doing a special delivery of our brewing, and so first thing we have to do is to resolve this task, and that's H6 with advantage. And if we hit, we roll overland. So I think this would actually use my stat because it's going to be my brewing. I might be wrong with that. I don't see how I could possibly roll an H6 without, I guess I could. Mine is +3. No, I have to give it to my staff. So we'll give it to Bessarion cannot roll an H6 because he's H -1. So we'll try to roll a 6 with advantage with Ezra. Nope. Oh, that's okay. So -1 morale for Ezra. That's tough. That's a more advanced task right there. You remember? Yeah, I know. When I don't roll a 2d12, I get like 37 emails from people unsubscribing. It's like there's so many people that unsubscribe from my channel that the notification sound is deafening. Literally, like people's ears start bleeding. Dogs can hear it. They start barking. All right, so that's kind of sad, but that's okay. We'll work towards that. We'll level up, and hopefully one day we can brew our specialty. Although that's kind of tough. A D6, good grief. Okay, now we're going to roll a 2D12 on the events table. Oh, my own. All right, brewing order again. All right, come on now, folks. Let's get it together. Here we go. 3, tonic. No one really knows what's in this thing but you. Oh, I read that wrong. Let's try that again. No one really knows what's in this thing but you. Yet the guests seem to like it. Task is B4. So 4 body. And I say, Bessarion, come on over here. Why don't you make one of these tonics for the guests? Bring it over to Ezra. We kind of were overworking Ezra earlier with the compost thing. Let's help him out a little bit. Sure, no problem. I think it's quite nice to help your fellow man, or dwarf, or dragonkin. Nobody seems to know that. I get nothing but disrespect. I say, okay, thank you, Bessarion. Could you go ahead and take that? Sure thing. All right, body 4, and let's do it. Boom! +2. So we did it. We hit. That's a good drink, and I can roll tips. And that's not frosted tips, circa 1998 hairstyle. This is actually financial tips. So let's give it a shot. Yeah, let's roll some tips here. It's about time we get some. Let me use these here. About time we get some respect. Man, I'm so mad that I wasn't able to do that overland roll. I really wanted to travel. All right, so this is the first time that I'm getting tips. And I think it's a good time to say now, if you're here, please give me a tip. I'm just kidding. I don't have enough followers to receive tips on YouTube. And even if I did, I would feel very... Don't ever give me tips. That feels very awkward and unnecessary. Okay, 1d6. Here we go. 6. You've been given a rare item. There's the proof, and no, I'm not supposed to roll a d12. So let's check out what rare item I get. Well, of course, Innkeeper's Enchanted Ledger. Spend this to take action even if you've done so once already this session. My friends, this is an advanced get here. That's great. Okay. So my gear already, I have a ledger. So just to review, anytime that there's an action that needs to happen, I would assign it to one of my staff, whether it's because their stats line up with it or there's something narratively that makes sense. Once a session, I can do it myself. And when I do that, now I can do it again. I could spend this ledger to do it again. And the reason I would want to do that is because my stats are higher. So it makes it easier to do something. Great. What a success. Hello. It's a success. We have to celebrate the successes in this world. Let's try it again. 2d12. 5. Service. Ding, ding. Okay, Thieves Gathering. It's never quite clear what they're up to, is it? Smiling and nodding in the corner booth like that. Muttering their thieves' cant. Oh, come on. This task... This is another M6. All right, so... Ezra, come here for a second. Yes, what is it, boss? Do you need an advanced potion? I'm working on one in which I put a packet of Velveeta cheese together with granite. That sounds like a horrible potion, Ezra. Listen, I want you to sort of that thieves' gathering over there. I don't know why they've identified themselves openly as thieves. I don't know why they've openly said we're a thieves' gathering, but the people, they are who they are, and they are thieves. So we're going to roll an M6, which is unbelievable. And even my mind stat's not that great. Hey, Dice Tales, thank you. I definitely will give myself a drink to celebrate, although I do not drink alcohol, so I'm going to have some Metamucil. Just as good. Just takes a while. Oh, Nelly. Everyone see that? Everyone see that? Unbelievable. That's called the Dice Tales bump. All right, so that gives me some prestige because I rolled a 6, and that's a +2. Ezra knocks it out of the park, but then get this. I get a hit. They seem appeased, but they are stingy. Roll tips -1. Well, I mean, it's not the amount that's -1. It's just like the roll on the table that's -1. And so let's see what I get here. Who's responsible for this? Which one of you did this? Never Metamucil. I didn't like. Okay, what is up with this chat tonight with all of these 4 to 5 star puns? I never Metamucil. I didn't like. What difficulty are you playing on? 4 to 5 stars. Out of 81 stars. Okay, so I rolled a 1, -1. I'm gonna be nice to myself and say that's a 1. Okay, because I just can't go to sleep tonight if I think that I've rolled a 0. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself 2 gold. We're falling apart here, folks. I think we're going to do one more task after this one because I'm feeling hot with the dice. And then after that, I'm going to fly to Vegas. All right. Let's give this another shot here. D12. Proof. I want to roll again. I want a different task. Special event. Don't tell anyone that I rolled again. Don't tell Derek Kamal. I don't want the Broken Cask Society coming to my house. Special event. When you're lucky, and you are a lucky one. This special thing is happening under your roof, and you get to play host. Wow. Incredible. They steal 2 gold. That's probably what I should do. All right, yeah, that's now we're thinking like a solo role player. If we're thinking like a min-maxer, we're going to go, I'm not stealing the gold. You can't have a roll. There needs to be a parameter less than 1. If you're a solo role player, you're going to go, you know what would be cool if they actually stole from me. All right, so this is a special event, and boy, I'm not ready, but we're going to roll and see what we get. A 1, Season Festival. Oh, cool. Also, I am I believe I'm in Winter Solstice. Yes. All right. So, the turning of the sphere. Your task will change depending on what season you're in. Get into the spirit of the season and roll them dice. Okay, so H3 if it is a solstice. Okay, so I just gotta like put on a season festival. So I guess I gotta go to the Bessarion. Oh man, Bessarion's a -1. No, Ezra's working the bar. We're gonna have Bessarion do it. I believe in you. Listen, Bessarion. Even though we're in the middle of nowhere, we have to honor the season. This is the winter solstice. Bessarion, please. I wish for you to throw a seasonal festival. And Bessarion's like, just so I'm clear, you've summoned me from the back where I was washing dishes, asking if I could do you a favor, And you would like for me to throw a seasonal festival. Yes, that's right. Could you do that for me? Sure. I'll get right on top of that. So Bessarion goes outside, cries a little bit, and then says, "Can I really do this?" Has a moment. And yes, I think you're right that we have to really motivate Bessarion here. So I'm going to say, Bessarion, I'm going to show you how it's done. And in fact, I put my hand on his back. I say, we're going to do it together. And I'm going to use my one role of the session, because as the leader of this inn, what I do, I lead from the front. And that's what I brought all of you here today to say, is that I want to inspire you all to be the leaders of tomorrow. And if you can't be the leaders of tomorrow, I at least want you to roll dice as well as I do. Bam! All right, that was pretty good. 5 plus 3. We hit roll on the rare tips table. He's a dragon thing. I think that's actually that's very disrespectful. Yes, Bessarion is a dragon kin. Okay. You don't see people going around calling you a human thing. Okay, so we're going to roll on the rare tips table. I guess it's probably the rare items table they meant. Unless I don't see a rare tips table. And here we go. 1d6. I got another Innkeeper's Enchanted Ledger. Folks, this was an excellent start to this game. And I think that I should probably continue playing it. And I hope that you will join me again. I know there wasn't a lot of people here, but it doesn't matter, because Dice Tales, Black Goblin, and C-Jack DC, I think I had that right. This was so fun. This is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. It's like you playing alone, but this community is so great. So I really thank you all for being here and spending this time with me. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that. You got a good overview of the game, and we're going to pick it up soon. We will get back to you with our next ASMR, hopefully within the week. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend.